guys. Welcome to the show. This is Terry with NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast, and it's Sunday Fun Day, man. Reached out to a couple of guests that's been on the show before. We had a great time conversating with them, learned a lot, and so hey, I invite these guys back to the show, man, just to see what they're doing, see what they're up to, how their lives are going, and man, I just scoping out this video, dude, that they posted 4 days ago, and it's amazing. You know what I'm saying? So I am going to put this out. So, hey guys, all you guys that are out there watching right now, please go to the Unknown Investigators YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe. That button. Subscribe and check out that video, man. That these guys just put out. It's an amazing, and it's got some awesome evidence in there. So hey, please do that. But in the meantime, while you guys scoping out that video, I'm going to be talking to these guys a little bit about what's going on in their lives now. Almost a year and a half later. What's going on, gentlemen? How you guys doing today?
Great. Yeah, doing great today.
Great. How's the weather up there?
It's cold today.
Cold.
Interestingly, we just got a winter chill come in for no reason at all.
Well, darn, man, those no reasons at all, dude. Yeah, they just happen to pop up whenever. You can't trust those boogers, to take you the truth. You know what I'm saying? They just pop up whenever. You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, glad to have you guys back on the show. I'm curious to know what's going on in your life, and especially about this video that I was just watching, man. It's very interesting. But with that being said, tell the world a little bit about yourselves and how you guys come to be investigators. They want to know all the good stuff. So hey, let's just lay it on out there on the line, fellas.
Well, what I can say is it all started with my dad. He's the one that brought us into this world. And I started when I was like 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just for fun. It was a little adventure that we would have. And pretty much from there on, like years of doing stuff here and there. It's been quite an experience at first, obviously. I was skeptical, but after all these experiences that we've had, being with my dad, going to these places and getting us all the evidence pretty much, made me change into a believer for sure. And it is very odd and very unusual stuff that is hard to explain. But I mean, I don't know. To me, it's just like it became a bigger deal once I started the YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I love doing it, but it just at the same time, doing the YouTube channel was just for the hobby of it and just showing other people what it's like. The real deal, not the whole ghost adventures and all that stuff, like how they make it over exaggerated and make it seem like it's crazy and all that. But I wanted to show people like the real deal of ghost hunting, how it's not as it seems to what TV is like, and just kind of share the evidence that we caught. And it just kind of ended up being a bigger thing for me anyway. So, but I mean, I told you my side the last time, so there's really not too much to add from that. I mean, if the viewers want to go and figure out the big details of everything of why we really got started and got into it, go back to that episode and watch it for sure.
Yeah. And I wasn't here for the last one, but I mean, kind of same sort of deal. Just started that out with my dad, being big into it, and I've always been huge into horror, growing up and just through the years. And then I think sometime in like 2018, around then,
Mhm.
is when I first started investigating and kind of getting a feel for that. And then the big jump was the channel for sure, getting taking it a little bit more serious when it comes to spending a good amount of time and like going through the questions and kind of getting that settled down. So
Interesting. Okay. You guys know Zane by chance?
Yes, he's supposed to be on with us.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and add him on up there.
there you go.
How you doing, Zane? Can
Good.
you?
How are you?
I'm all right. I'm doing great. Welcome to the show, man. We just getting started here. Guys. Last time you guys were on the show, we had a pretty decent conversation. I wanted to get to know you guys personally. I wanted to get to know you guys on the way you guys do things, and so on and so on. But tonight, I want to take it a step further than that. I want to reach into your minds. I want to reach into your soul. I want to reach into the places where nobody likes to go. And I want to be able to ask you guys questions that you've never been asked before. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys ever been on another podcast, you know, the questions that they ask you, throw that crap right out the window. Just zoop, throw it out there. Forget about it. See you down the street. Don't come back. So with that being said, guys, I looked at your video and it says your dad came through. And most people when they see something like that, like you say, the first thing that they're real skeptical about something like that. And I'm not here to judge or say anything, but the main question that I have is what's your percentage that that's really your dad?
Uh,
I mean, you want to go first, Kid? Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, like, what exactly do you mean by like percentage?
I mean, okay, like most people say, well, hey man, that's 100%. That is my dad. I mean, that's absolutely guaranteed, positively. That is the person that I love. That is the person that gave me birth. That is the person that raised me. Now, we all know that the paranormal world sometimes plays tricks with us.
Mm-hmm.
So the person that you might think it is might not actually be.
Yeah, yeah. And again, that's really hard to get exactly unless you've got like say EVP of like his voice, like right down to the T.
Mhm.
Um, but when it comes to these things, there's only so much like interpretation when it comes down to things that are said and heard, especially from the devices. And when it comes to the things that are being said, it's almost exactly down to like the things that happened and like creating that that play by play that we already knew of coming into. Um, so that gives a lot of play into thinking that he's still there with us on our investigations, just because you know how much what would the word be, like just like pinpoint accuracy with the things being said.
Mm.
So, like, if you watch the video, I literally kind of go into detail about it and
Mhm.
describe the scenario and why it fits so perfectly with the situation. It's not to me. It's not something that's like, you know. It just like fits the situation, fits the scenario. On top of that, going on with EVPs, The very first thing that we got, like in that investigation, we were just trying to get names like any other paranormal investigator does. We were getting names and trying to get names and stuff, and we did get I'm Chad, which is his name. And if you, as his son, I can recognize that voice. And when you hear it, it sounds exactly like him. In what I hear, it sounds just like him.
Interesting.
So, to me, like just everything fits perfectly to the situation. Now, if it was like this isn't something like in the video where I'm just cherry picking what I want it to be true. This is something that happened. It wasn't like picking pieces and putting it together. This was like cut thin, like it was just straightforward, Tristan, I'm Chad. It just all just went smoothly, like it was a full-on conversation he was trying to get to us. So that's how I see it.
Interesting. Okay.
Did you want to add on to anything about that?
Yeah, I was just gonna point out that, like, whenever you're using a spirit box or anything like that, like, it's all contextual. So you're going to hear voices come through with the spirit box because it runs through radio frequencies and stations. So of course you're going to hear words come out, but you're going off of the context. So if you ask a specific question and you get a specific word through the spirit box that answers your question, then it's pretty safe to say that it lines up right. But still, you still have like a 70% chance that it is communicating with you, or, another 30% that you just kind of got lucky. So it's just contextual on that. And when you do those types of experiments during an investigation, so it's kind of up to you to decide whether or not you feel like it's fit for that situation. Sometimes it might be just kind of a coincidence, and that's up to like the investigators to decide, okay, is this just a coincidence, or does that seem a little bit too weird for a coincidence?
Also, you're fighting a battle. Like there's gonna people that are gonna believe it, and there's gonna people that are not gonna believe it.
Right.
That's just an ongoing battle. You can't really prove it or not prove it. Like it's just one of those battles. So
yeah, that and that is a battle. I think as much as I love to investigate, as much as evidence I put out, and much evidence I've seen other people put out, it seems like it's enough. The battle is, man, it's just an uphill battle for us on whether we get people to believe in what we're doing and what we're trying to do, and a lot of people ask me, he's like, Terry, you doing with this, what is your what is your main objective when you out there and and you're investigating and you hear things, you see things, what is your main objective? And like I tell people all the time, man, people objectives are different. Sometimes it's based on the individual per team, and sometimes it's just based on the team itself. Everybody is different. But I do know that you have those people out there that would take that video and try to break it down. They would try to break it down to the last little crumble and going to find a way to disprove everything that I saw on that video. Everything is factual. There's no way that you guys could have, faked anything on that because it was uncut, unedited, and raw. You know what I'm saying? So, but yet you still got those people out there that would do that to you.
Yeah. You're always gonna have those people, and like for my case, like if people are saying like, "Oh, you could have easily faked that" and stuff like that, I'm like, "Hey, man, I was there. You can choose to believe it, or you can choose not to. It's not really my problem if you choose not to. I'm just putting it out there to just put it out there, and you can choose to believe it or not. But I know the truth, so
Yeah. And and I think that is one of the biggest problems, Zane. God damn it. That we have with society today. It's because people don't want to open their hearts. People don't want to believe the unbelievable because it's a possibility that it's really freaking happening. You know what I'm saying? And to me, it just seems like as much as I put more, it seems like much as I put my work into it, and I put my heart and soul into everything that I do, no matter what I do. Like you say, you always gonna have that person in the background that's just gonna dissect it, and this causes a nut. Everything trickles down, and
mhm.
see, and that causes another problem because if you got people that's not believing you, you know, and they're criticizing, they're so damn judgmental on every little thing that you post on social media that you've captured, it opened the eyes to the bigger picture. The bigger picture is able to, for us to come together as a community and actually sit down at the scientific table, man, and actually present full-blown evidence of something that's actually going on out here in the world. But here's the catcher. As long as we got people over there that want to criticize, ridicule, and do all the negative things, they're not going to look at us as a whole.
Right. Yeah, and that's another thing you'll hear often. Well, there's no real evidence of spirits or ghosts or anything like that. And I just say, well, have you actually researched it? Because actually, there's thousands of years of evidence of and ghosts existing. You can hear stories from hundreds of years ago of people talking about their spiritual encounters, and there's pictures and videos and audio recordings over hundreds of years worth, but they people just choose to dismiss the evidence as, oh, that was fake, or that's not real, or that's
Mhm.
theatrics. And it's like, well, you can't say there's no evidence if you're going to choose to dismiss all of the evidence.
Exactly. And the biggest question, these guys, is what's there to be afraid of? What is there to be afraid of? Believe it or not, everybody on this planet is going to go. Everybody. There's nobody here on this planet that has unlimited life. Everybody's got to go. Everybody's got to experience what we're trying to figure out. So I don't understand why certain people on this planet are just so hypocritical where they just naturally think, well, once you die, you die. There's nothing out there but darkness. Darkness and space.
Yeah. Um, on one side, I can kind of see how people kind of pull it that way because, with the whole, religious aspect when it comes to the spiritual realm and things like that. Like, there's always a stigma about like how good you are as a person depends on whether you're tortured for eternity or paradise for eternity, right? So, the for a lot of people, they tend to look at that and be like, well, why would I want to chance it? I can just, oh, there's nothing after this. I get my life and then that's it. Then they don't have to think about being tortured forever, in that aspect of what people believe. And, so that's one form of like, I guess you could say like a fear for it that people would hold. So,
I think fear will consume you if you let it. But the thing about it is, guys, us as humans, as a society, when are we going to get past that? You know, when are we ever going to get past that? I mean, we've been so afraid of the small shit. We don't even look at the big shit and say, "Oh man, that's the small shit is worse." I mean, come on, man. We have to be able to come together as a society and say, "Hey, the possibilities are out there. The possibilities are here. There's too much evidence." Okay, you know, let's break this down. The scientific community, dude, there it's a wide range of individuals out there that from ufologists to archaeologists, dude, everybody went through their moment that we're going through right now as a community, especially Bigfoot hunters. You know, cryptozoologists. Well, I can put Bigfoot and crypto in the same thing. Uh, let's just do it like that. You know, when that 1967 video came out of Bigfoot walking across, I think it was in Washington. I don't know if you guys ever seen that historic video. Dude, they broke that down things. They broke it down so many times. Oh, it's a guy in a Bigfoot costume. Dude, if you look at that guy's torso, you look at the way his legs are bending, that there's no man on this planet that can walk like that.
Well, also, what most people don't even know about is that the Bigfoot in that original video, the Patterson Gimlin footage, it's actually a female Bigfoot. If
Mm.
you pay close attention, you can see the breasts. It's kind of awkward to say, but swinging back and forth as it's walking across.
You know, so how is it that they are able, like I said, they broke that video down, and to this day, I can say, I might be wrong, guys, but let's get these numbers right. I can say maybe 70% of the world's population believe that video is real. The rest probably think that video is fake. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
what really kills me is how they were so judgmental at one point. Now more evidence has come out that these things exist, so the numbers going up. But how many times have we presented the same thing and our numbers stay the same? Our
I
numbers
just
not elevate whatsoever. And I'm like, what the hell is going on, dude?
I think it's just technology. I think technology's gotten to the point where a lot of people back in the day would believe that stuff, but with technology now, you can fake a lot of things, and that's it's not really us against other people. It's more like against the technology that we have, because there's so many videos out there that you have to debate if it's real or fake, and that's what it comes down to. Before it was like trying to prove that it's real, and there's tons of evidence to prove that these things are real. But then technology got involved where people are starting to fake stuff. And it came to the point where it's like now we're fighting against proving it's real and trying to like debunk and make and prove to people that it isn't fake because of the technology that we have.
Hmm. So basically, what you're saying is 20 years, 30 years from now, technology might be the downfall of paranormal investigating.
Will definitely create more skeptics because as it gets easier and easier to edit footage and make something fake look real, it's going to be a lot harder to tell what's real and what's not. I mean, you can see that now today with just the AI stuff. Like, look how hard it's getting looking at the AI videos made out of nothing and how real they look. Like, it's just going to make it a lot harder to prove that your videos are not, run through an AI program or something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, you would need to take it to someone that's professional that can take it to actually scan the footage to see if there was any tampering or
Mm.
pictures, whatever, tampering with pictures, if it was edited or somehow, something like
Yeah,
that.
because even with digital like footage and images, like you can tell if it's the original copy and then it hasn't been edited or anything like that. So that would be one thing to do. But that's the thing. If you're someone with who doesn't have a lot of resources like that, it's going to become pretty difficult to find someone to validate or verify that your footage hasn't been messed with. You kind of, for the majority of us, we're just going to say you're going to have to take us at our word for this. So
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
and one of my biggest things, especially when it comes to creating the videos and having like a platform to show all these things, it's not trying to have someone sit behind a screen and then be like, oh, I believe in ghosts now because of this piece of evidence, right? Like that's not what we're inevitably trying to do. We're trying to create a curiosity, in the
Hmm.
minds of people, and allow them to create their own experience and explore and come to that conclusion themselves through their own investigation of some sort. So I feel like our biggest thing would be showing what you can do in a professional and respectful manner, and uh, spread curiosity.
yeah, and how it can be done. A lot of people, we get messages all the time of just people asking us questions like, how would I even go about starting investigating for ghosts or anything paranormal and stuff like that. So what in our videos we kind of just show what we're doing, and then if you watch the videos you can kind of see how we do it, and that's pretty standard what we do from everyone else who does the same type of stuff.
Right.
Hmm.
And like for us, our goal is to do this is mainly just to get an understanding of what the afterlife is. We want to ask the deeper questions like, what do you see? Like, what do these spirits see? Where are they? What does it look like? Can you smell? Like, does it smell like anything? Can you hear things? Can you see us? Like, we can't see you, but can you see us? And just those types of questions we're really trying to answer. And yeah,
Yeah, pretty much what I talked with the team about is like kind of changing it up, changing the channel up a little bit. And for my curiosity, speaking about curiosity, uh, is more of the deeper stuff. Like, yeah, we can do like what everyone else does, getting names, getting proof of like the history from spirits there, and like getting their age and their gender and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah, we can do what everyone else does, but I want to, in my curiosity, want to know more about the afterlife, what it looks like, if they can see us, those deeper questions I want to get answered. And I know I'm not going to get the straight up answers, obviously, but I think if we go to multiple places, we ask the same questions and we get, the same responses in a way or close to the same responses, I think it would kind of clarify what it could be, not just getting one piece of evidence and calling it's good. I think getting that proof of multiple places that we've gone to, getting the same type of answers of what the afterlife is like could justify and help others understand the afterlife also.
Okay. Now I got a two-part question here. Uh, let's go back to the AI situation. Now AI, we've seen the movies. We know what potential can happen 30, 40 years from now. AI grows, becomes smarter, consider humans a threat, wipe us all off the fucking face of the planet. Or is there a way that we can use AI to help us in our investigations instead of AI going the opposite way? because I really don't see that AI is going to go anywhere anytime soon. So the best way to actually uh, go along with it is find ways to let it be more uh, helpful with us in our investigations. And I'm not saying that AI got to go to a haunted location and do all our dirty work for us. You know, there's got to be a way where we can able to manage and understand and be able to work with this thing without, being able to having it take us to Timbuktu and just, thinking everything is bad. The second question is, how is that I want back up. So first of all, I mentioned the word uphill battle. Now I'm looking at YouTube right here, and I'm looking at you guys' Facebook page, and and the more investigator, because you mentioned investigators want to learn and stuff, the more there are investigators that want to come out and they want to be able to learn and teach and educate and doing things like that. But yet there are those on YouTube that wants to do the complete freaking opposite. They don't want.
Right.
How are we able to fight that? How are we able to teach these guys the correct way when we're looking up and we see everybody else doing it the screwed up way, for clicks, likes, balances, checks, money and all that other BS? How do we fight against that?
Yeah, that's the struggle. So that's the thing is those types of videos, like the clickbaity videos, are what's going to get pushed in the algorithms, right? So, and that will definitely put a damper on investigators like us, where we still cut stuff out. Like, we're going to cut out if there's silence for 30 minutes, nothing's going on. We're not going to put that on YouTube because people are just going to click off, right? They're going to get bored. But we're also not trying to make clickbaity type stuff. We're just putting out there what we got, like what we did. Some of it could be really good, some of it could be a little bit boring. So, but it's hard to get those videos out there for a wider audience when the clickbaity type stuff is going to be pushed a lot more.
Well,
Yeah,
also more ghost hunting and stuff is entertainment now. So now you got a whole bunch of people being like making it like it's TV, and you know putting on a fake face, over exaggerating everything, making all these tiny little things such a big deal when they haven't tried to debunk it or try to prove that it's something paranormal. Like there's so many things that these people do that's just specifically for entertainment. And it's not like us, we're not that type of way. We're not like over exaggerating. We're not trying to make everything such a big deal. We When something does happen that's unexpected, then yeah, we might freak out. But if you watch our videos and stuff, you can see we're like 99% of the time we're not really like going crazy at all. Like we're not super like dramatic over everything. So like all these other people might do. And I'm not just saying like everyone that's dramatic is doing it for the entertainment, because I know there's a lot of people that are still like scared of the paranormal and are nervous, and like they're still skeptics, so they don't understand these things quite well. So they still like kind of express that feeling, but there's a lot of them that are doing it for entertainment and for the money. So
yeah, I totally agree. Hey, Kate, next question for you, brother. Uh, there's a really big controversy going on, and I really want to have your opinion on this. You know, the younger generation don't really call themselves investigators. They call themselves urban explorers. They call themselves ghost hunters. To me, and that's just me, I put them about the same. What do you think?
Um, and I would say those are pretty different comparatively to, you know, being a paranormal investigator. Um,
Hmm.
because, you know, like urban exploration or, you know, whatever, that's more along the lines of seeing abandoned places and how humanity like comes across through time as we let things go, you know. And then, you know, the quote ghost hunters, I feel like in a
Don't they
sense
pretty
it's
much?
kind of just like
But don't they
putting a
pretty much
face
do the
on
same thing?
it, being what, a ghost hunter and an urban explorer.
Yeah, don't they pretty much do the same thing? I mean, urban explorers pretty much explore abandoned locations. Ghost hunter, they go into abandoned locations looking for ghosts, despite not putting the work in it. You know, not
Mm.
putting the research. They just go and just go. They, they
Yeah,
have
and
ghosts, and I'm telling you, some of these ghost hunters don't have no type investigation methods whatsoever.
yeah. um and like, yeah, like I was going to say, with, you know, like the quote ghost hunting part, it's more, in my personal like opinion, it's more along the lines of imitation of what they see online, you know, the big lines, the big names, of just the random things, trying to get basically like thrill seeking, you know. um So that's the big jump when it comes to those versus paranormal investigating. It's more scientific. Like, we're not trying to have a thrill seeking experience. We're trying to actually communicate and create a lot of things with that, not just, you know, see a ghost and scream.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
also
All
urban,
right,
yeah,
guys. First,
urban explorers, they do explore abandoned buildings, but I see today as a lot of paranormal investigators, they're not just exploring abandoned buildings either. They're
right.
going to actual places, that are not abandoned. So, I mean, yeah, you can say they're kind of the same, but as I see today, I see more people like paranormal investigators going to businesses and doing ghost hunts there, museums and stuff like that. Not really abandoned places. The reason why, and a lot of the people that I've talked to, it's more of a respect thing. They don't want to get caught trespassing in an area and have to deal with the charges if they get caught, you know. And the urban explorers, they're just like, whatever, dude. Like, I don't care.
Yeah,
They'll just do it.
yeah,
Us, there's a lot of paranormal investigators that are respectful in that way, where they're like, well, if we don't get the owner of the property to give us access to it, then we're not going to go there. So it's borderline, is how I see it.
All right, guys. First question of the day from the audience. I'm gonna put it on the screen. I want you guys. I hope you guys can see it. Hmm.
Hmm.
Who wants,
Okay.
who wants to go first?
Yeah, I haven't.
um
I've never seen a skinwalker or a shapeshifter or anything like that. I've seen shadows. I've seen like shadow figures. That's about as far as it's gone. I don't know. I can't really speak on skinwalkers or shapeshifters and stuff like that because I don't have any personal experience with it.
Yep.
But I know that, if you have an entity or something in a building that really, really wants to scare you and has the power to do so, they can do lots of things to really mess with you and try to freak you out. So could be a situation like that, or it could be an even scarier thing. But yeah, I don't have a lot of personal experience with that.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think any of us really have. So
Yeah, like the biggest thing for me, because like again, we're not too big on like the cryptid side, more on like the spiritual world. But I know for me, I've had a few experiences where I've had like imitation things happen where um I hear someone that I know like talking to me, and they're not even in the house that day or something, like that. A few things like that, but nothing really when it comes to the cryptids and the creatures. So
Okay. Uh, Another big topic, man. Skinwalkers and shapeshifters. Big debate last week on skinwalkers, man, with a team out of Tennessee. We got heavily debated on that. We all know that skinwalkers basically are Native American entities, but a lot of people don't know exactly what they are. Skinwalkers they pretty much protect the Native American land. So I've never seen a skinwalker before in my life. I've just heard of them. Allegedly, I might came across one at some point on a past investigation, and trust me, he or she ripped me up. I was in the hospital for a week, and I never went back to that location. Something like that, you really can't go back. But it ripped me up for a week, dude. I was in the hospital for a week,
I
and
also think that the skinwalkers and stuff could be just a demonic entity, because we don't know what the demonic entities really look like, and
right.
if, and also it's what people think of like demonic entities can portray themselves as anything, as like a little girl, a regular someone that you think that you could trust. It can form into that entity and get you to do things that you shouldn't or wouldn't do.
Hmm.
So it's hard for me. I don't know because I've never experienced a skinwalker, but in my like how I see it, it's just a demonic entity forming into whatever it wants and to manipulate the situation.
Yeah. My theory is, and this is just my theory. I mean, I don't know what other people might think, but I've watched enough cowboy and Indian movies with my great great grandmother to know that most of these shapeshifters are turned into forms of nature. I've heard so many stories where at Skinwalker's Ranch where they've seen big wolves, they've seen uh, big hawks, big things in the sky where they don't know exactly what they are, but most of them are wolves, bears, just animals, just animals. So I sat there, I was sitting there and thinking, I'm like, dude, when I just heard a cat. Braves, how do Braves turn into men? When Braves, when young men turn into Braves, what is the first thing that they have to do? They have to prove their manhood correctly. That's what being a Brave is all about. So when you go and prove your manhood, that means you have to go out alone. You have to kill a bear or a wolf or some kind of wild animal. And what they do is, if you guys seen any Indian movie, they will cut the hide out and put it on their head. So you will see, even though you don't think you see a wolf, it's literally a brave with a hood on his head, got the fur, got the hooves and everything. Now, when they die, they also be buried in that also, because it shows respect for the brave, coming into manhood. So and we all know braves. Their main job is to protect the home. So when they die and they take this form with them, and I think, me personally, I just think when they come back and protect, that's what they come in as, So come in as a bear, and they'd be able to shape shift to whatever they want. But most of the time, it's a bear or a wolf or some kind of animal. And most of the time, skinwalkers are seen in some type of form of an animal. And that's just my opinion on that one. Uh, I might be wrong. People might think, no, I don't see that. But you can go to look up any, any Indian, uh, place, or go look up history in the Indians. But that's what Native Americans did when their loved one died. They would bury them in the thing that made them become a man, and they always and they wear that because it symbolized their manhood.
Yeah. One big thing that I do know about, the natives and their culture, is that one of the biggest things that they would respect is nature and all of the creatures that come with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, with their tied animals, that they would express, like that is their soul or whatever, they would have rituals and like dances where that would allow them spiritually to connect better to the natural world. And there's a lot of that, especially with their culture. And so that could also be played on to, with the skinwalkers and stuff, where it's like, they come back, uh with their, in the afterlife, and their spirits are so tied to that picture and, creature or whatever it may be, and can, appear as so, because they spent their entire lives respecting and cherishing those things.
Yeah, they are. You know what? Those individuals had and it went both ways, because I think nature had a lot of respect for them, and they had the utmost respect for nature. So, Native Americans know a lot more about the afterlife than what they're saying. But it's their culture and their beliefs that people like me and you aren't ready for to hear such things.
Yep, they're definitely talking about it, just no one's really listening.
Nah, they're not. And it's weird because we need to listen. We need to stop what we're doing and just pay attention for a brief freaking moment, man, and you'll be able to hear everything. You can learn so much by listening instead of talking.
Mm,
Then I think that needs to be done more. You know what I'm saying? You
yep.
know, the smartest people on the earth are the ones that don't say nothing, because all they do is take it in. They consume everything.
Mm,
And believe me, some of the things that you say 5 years from now, they will remember 5 years, and they will remember what you said and tell you. Do you
mhm.
know who these people are? Children.
Mm,
Children.
yeah. Yeah, they soak up everything.
They soak up everything. They soak up so much knowledge. And I think that's why they are so open, when it comes to their long gone family members coming back to visit them. Did you guys ever see that video where the brother died and the nephew was sitting in the chair, and the mom was in the kitchen, and the little child kept saying uncle, 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 and was literally can't be no more than 3, 4 years old. Never seen it. He died before the baby was even born. So how did he know that was his uncle?
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen a few videos like that.
it was an amazing. She's and the mom. It stopped mom in her tracks. She's like, "What? You see your uncle? This baby never knew her. Never knew her uncle. So how did she know what he looked like?
Mhm.
Uncle, 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 pointing at him." And I'm like, "Wow, boy, the mind of a child. The mind
Yeah.
of a
That's cool.
child." One, children have no that young have no reason to lie about anything. They don't even know what lying is.
Hmm.
Hmm.
But you can't help but believe on what they're saying. But unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine being an adult and having, I mean, some of us do, and having that mindset where your mind has not been bombarded by everyday life. You see things clear like you're a child. You know, your eyes and your ears, man, it seems like everything is just rolling at one time. It just feels so right because you have not been slapped in the face with life yet. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
can you imagine having that type of power, being an investigator? Dude, the possibilities are endless. But
Oh
we
yeah.
all know once we go through that puberty stage, all that goes out the window. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Unless you're a very gifted person that can handle that type of skill set and be able to do that. Dude,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that would be unbelievable. I mean,
For real.
you know what I'm saying? That's like wow, yeah, that would be something else. You know, guys, have you guys took a dog on an investigation yet? I think we talked about that last time. Or you guys still have not done that yet?
Mm.
No.
No, not yet. I'd like to get a dog at some point.
Yeah, I think animals, dude. Animals are awesome when it comes to investigating.
They definitely
Yeah,
can detect
definitely.
stuff we can't.
Yeah.
I mean, those those eyes that they have and the ears. Oh my god! Can you imagine? Just either they're gonna growl at you, or either they're gonna uh, sit down. They're gonna do something to not let you know that there's something there.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
yeah, that's definitely another aspect to gathering evidence where it's like people will come in and be like, oh well, you can't prove that, like maybe you trained them to growl when you did something or whatever, but it is another one of those things that it's like, yeah, you can't prove it, but you also can't just disprove it. Like it's one of those
Right.
in the air type of things.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, man. But you know what? This day and age, guys, people aren't using their natural born senses anymore. They're so caught up on the K2, they so caught up on the REM pods, they so caught up on so many of these devices that are being developed, not knowing if they really worked or they worked. Some of these devices are thing are just, I'm gonna say it, just ass. But yet it is $1 million a year business, whether it works or not. People are gonna buy it because people want to test it.
Yeah.
So the question I have for you guys is why come people aren't using what God gave them?
um I think the biggest thing with it is like when it comes to that aspect of it, of like just like saying how you're feeling in the moment, like it works in some senses, especially when it comes to the videos and trying to create content for it. But the flashing lights and the noises, those are really good for the content, and so I think that's why they've gotten so big, definitely as of recent, is they're just so much better for content and for allowing more to happen than just talking at a camera.
Right.
But I mean, you definitely still feel it though when you're investigating. That's another thing why I always want to try to push to get people to go, because you can't just get that by watching a video. Like
Yeah.
you
Right.
won't get the feeling. So
It's
Yeah.
weird.
The same. The
Go
the
ahead.
same thing too with the devices. I think what a lot of people who are still skeptics are looking for is some sort of unbiased evidence. And so the devices really help for those types of people seeing, oh, if this device is going off, this device that's, set up in this way where it can't be messed with, and it kind of creates an unbiased part of the evidence where it's not just, oh, I feel this way. Because anyone can, easily just brush that off as like, oh, they're freaked out because they're in a scary building in the dark or whatever. So I think for a lot of skeptics, and the reason why the devices are so popular is just because they're looking for that unbiased evidence where, they can easily go like, oh, well, that wasn't them doing it. It was the device.
Mm. Another question: how much equipment is too much equipment?
I mean, it depends on how deep you want to go into it. If really, all you need to do, the only devices that you need to do a paranormal investigation is yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need a camera. You don't even need a voice recorder or anything like that if you don't want it. If you're going to if you're going to a place for the experience and to learn, you really only need yourself. The devices can help for, communication aspects and stuff like that. But in a lot of places, you don't even really need the devices.
mm.
You just got to
Mm-mm.
show up.
That's
Just
more of
gotta
like a
show up.
personal experience.
Yeah, and you know what? And guys, me myself, some of the best experiences that I've ever had is the ones I've seen. I cannot record. I don't have on
Hmm.
video.
Yep.
Is personal experiences.
Mm.
Well, and also,
Whether I mean whether it's some things that is just unexplainable. You know what I'm
right.
saying? You see that on the corner of your eye, you're like, man, did I just see that? Or
Hmm.
better yet, all you guys have hair on your body. I don't have any hair, and the hair on my head stands up, and I don't have any freaking hair, man. How in the hell is that even possible?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. That happens a lot. That actually happened to me last night. Um, but yeah, that's the thing is if you're just going for a personal experience, like, you don't even need any devices or anything like that.
None,
And
none
that's
whatsoever.
true. The most convincing experiences that I've ever had, I didn't have a camera, I didn't have a voice recorder. I don't have any proof of it happening other than I was there and it happened to me. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that a lot of these things that we're catching on, video and, through the spirit box, uh, I think they know when they're being recorded because it almost seems like over the years, as soon as that camera goes off, all this stuff starts happening. Stuff starts going crazy, and we're like, grab the camera, go get it. And then we grab the camera, turn the camera on, get everything ready, and it stops. And we're like, dang it.
Yeah,
Oh man,
yeah. I've seen that, dude. They're just, when a situation like that, I just put that in my personal archives inside my brain, and that's
Yeah.
something I can just look at, think about over and over and over again, without being subjected to Lord knows who and what, saying that didn't happen, this didn't happen. That's no way that could fucking happen. I'm like, how in the hell do you know if you wasn't there? You know what I'm saying? So it's yeah, I just put it back in my little archives in my brain, and I just go on with it. it's just one of those things where you just got to know where to fight your battles at, you know. And I just put it back there, guys. Let me ask you guys a question. Uh, it's I'm going to take it back. A couple of conversations we were having about sitting at the scientific community table. Uh, that's a tough subject, you know, to even discuss. A lot of people don't even know what to say when I ask them questions about that. You know, it starting off is really hard. Like I say, everybody's been down the road we're going to. You know what I'm saying? So, at what point, and would it be in our lifetime, or would it be in your kid's lifetime, that would we ever be accepted as a unified front community, unified when everybody is one? You know, no backstabbing, no shooting each other in the back, none of this. This location is better than that location, and you can't get in that location until you pay me $100.
Mm.
No, you know, and it's to me, and I'm just being honest with you, until we solve our issues as a community, we're never going to sit at the table. There are so much issues that is going on in the paranormal field that is unfreaking believable. And whether we believe it or not, other communities are watching us. And they're saying these guys can't get their shit together. You got
Yeah.
some over here that wants to do right, but hell, but you got 2.5 million people over there that are 2.5 million assholes.
Hmm.
They don't want to do right, dude. Like I say, we have to be unified as a whole in order for us to even get an opportunity to even sit down at the table and present our evidence as one, not 50 million different paranormal investigators, but as one.
Yeah,
I
and that's a problem with sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. It's yours.
That's a problem with you know, a lot of different communities as well. Like scientific community has this issue, the healthcare industry has this issue where you're always going to have the bad actors and the ones that make the rest of them look bad, and you know, a lot of them don't agree with each other on the way they do things or what they believe is, you know, the correct answer or the not correct answer for things. And it does, I think in some ways it sets back the communities, and then in other ways it might even create more growth. Because if you don't have at least one person or a few people to say, like, no, I don't think this is right, we should try it this way instead, then I don't know how much room you have for growth.
Mm. Yeah, you definitely need those different point of views to be able to grow in your methods and experiments.
You know, I think we can have different points of views and still understand each other, still have
For
that
sure.
mutual respect for each other. But it won't happen in my lifetime. I don't see it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like Zane. How many letters are there in the alphabet?
26.
26. So if there's 26 letters in the alphabet, there are so many different types of ways we can communicate with the other side where they still can understand. So why are people? It seems like everybody's using the same tone. There are too many people in the box, Zane. There are too many people in the box. At what
Yeah.
point, as paranormal investigators, we got to start thinking outside the box?
I think
Because
always.
because if we continue staying in that box, what's going to happen?
Well, that's why
Yeah.
I was explaining about the deeper part of it. Everyone's doing like the same type of stuff that puts everyone in that box. Now we need people that are not just looking for the same stuff, but getting that curiosity of going deeper, you know? And that
Hmm.
goes back with getting the deeper, like asking the deeper questions, getting the deeper information instead of just going off of what everyone else is doing.
Hmm. And if you start thinking out the box, if you leave the box and you start thinking outside the box, the possibilities is unbelievable at that point because you start thinking for yourself. You're not listening to the person that's literally sitting right next to you. And you're like, man, I just said the same thing. Everybody's saying the same shit. And it's really fucking irritating. It really
Yeah,
is. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
So can you imagine if you go to somewhere like Penhurst and you got 30,000? Okay, let's see. How many people do you think go to that location every year?
Quite a bit.
Okay, we'll go quite a bit. So you got quite a bit of people saying the same shit every time you go in there and investigate. And here I am. I'm sitting in my cell, chilling, watching MTV. And here y'all go. Here they go. They pitched a little cat ball down there, down the hallway. And I'm like, oh man, come on, dude. I hope these people got their shit together today because I really don't want to have to deal with this. So they asked the same questions the guys asked 30 minutes ago. So I'm like, hey, let's start thinking out the damn box, man, when you guys are communicating. Because you never know. You never know what kind of reaction you get if you say something that nobody's said before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And that goes along with the devices too. I think a lot of the places, like what I've been thinking about, is like a lot of the time the devices are not really doing much. We don't
Mm-hmm.
really get too much with the devices, and I feel like these spirits are smarter than what we think, right? And they go through the same stuff all the time because there's people investigating at these places all the time using the same devices. And to me, it feels like they're getting sick of the devices. They want, there needs to be something new, like you've been saying, something outside the box that's different that people need to bring to the table to
Mm-hmm.
get more of the information. And that's how I've been feeling because I feel like the devices, they're there, but they don't really do much. So it's like they're toys, but at the same time, it's not really, they don't really validate a whole lot on a lot of our investigations. It's more of getting like the EVPs and getting those type of information, like that type of information. And I think like the spirit box does help getting that information, but instead of asking the same questions like everyone else is asking, let's ask something different. So we're outside of the box from everyone else.
Yes, I
Yeah.
totally agree with you on that, man. If you don't even have to go far on YouTube to hear the same shit that you hear over and over and over again. I mean, it's pretty much right there.
Yep.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It's pretty much right there. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing. And it goes back to people not opening their minds. I don't know how many times I've talked about that. You got to open up your mind, dude. These guys that we're dealing with are long gone. They've been around. I mean, they trust me. People in the afterlife know exactly what they're doing. There's no if and buts about it. If they want to communicate, they would communicate. But it's how you communicate with them. Though, like you say, throw something at them they ain't never seen before.
Yep.
Curiosity kills the what? The cat. It
Yep.
kills it every time. So these people, just because they don't have no body, that don't mean that they're not curious. Especially those that are late 1800s, early 1900s, 1950s, you know, all the stuff that we don't have now, all the stuff we have now, they didn't have back then. Matter of fact, paranormal investigating wasn't even much of a thought.
Yep.
If they did, they thought you was crazy. They had you locked up.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So you really have to start thinking.
I think it's one of those things. Like, it's a lot of real paranormal investigators, right? They're down for the evidence, but it's not really about the evidence anymore. Like, everyone's asking the same stuff, doing the same stuff, but now it's more about how entertaining the group is.
Yeah.
This is why Ghost Adventures got so big. This is why other known like YouTubers have gone big, because it's more of the entertainment aspect of it now. It's not really about the evidence; it's the entertainment part of it.
Exactly. One quick note, right quick. Virgil, I know you can hear me. You better freaking behave yourself. Virgil is a guy out of Manchester, England, and he's a funny guy, but sometimes he gets out of hand. So Virgil, I'll let you in, but you gotta behave yourself, okay? No weird dude. One day he came on the show and told me the aliens kidnapped his damn cows and they wanted them back. I was rolling. Virgil, I hope you found your cows. If not, we'll work on that. But yeah, guys, it seemed like we lost one.
His phone died.
Oh no. So yeah. Can I be honest with you guys? You come visit me, we're cool, we're cordial. But the minute you ask me to do something, touch that cat ball, do this, do that, everything don't demand doing things. You have to ask. There's ways. There's rules to this shit. There's rules and regulations, and there are bylaws. We don't be disrespectful. And that's another subject we're going to talk about here in a minute. We don't be disrespectful to the dearly, to the dearly gone, because one day it's going to be you. So you want the most ultimate respect that you can possibly give. The person that you talk to, think of it as your grandmother, your great grandmother. No matter who it is, they know more than you.
Yeah.
They know more than you.
And that's definitely one of the biggest things that we try to follow whenever we're doing investigations is, we do have to understand that, like, you're in someone else's home, right? Or, their place. You have to have the utmost respect for their things and their space and their time. And, so I think that's also one of the biggest things that we're going to be experimenting with in our next coming season for some more episodes coming up, as we're going to kind of be focusing a little bit more on like asking, like what their experience is, instead of asking them to do things, like kind of lay down the equipment for a little bit and listen.
I totally agree. But guys, there is one device I've been really pushing that a lot of people don't use. And to me, I think it helps draw out spirits. But like I said, a lot of people don't use it. And that's the Tesla ball. I think that's a very interesting device that actually Nikola Tesla invented it, and he was using it to uh, for the same thing that we're using it for, or if not a little bit something different. But I think that device right there can probably open up, some communication with you. You don't have to. Well, you can touch it, and you can tell when somebody's touching it because because the damn electricity gravitate towards your hand. So
Yeah.
finger can literally like that. So
Mhm.
it's a device that you would consider using. Uh, Man, I tried to get the biggest one I can find, but it seems like most of the locations that I'm in don't have electricity. So
Yeah.
if I can get one that's battery operated, which that ain't, the batteries ain't gonna last long on that because it takes so much energy to operate.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So
It's just another test object. You gotta test it
yeah,
out and see how it does.
see how
Yeah.
it does. It won't hurt you. Do you know what I mean to try new things?
Yep.
Uh, I got a device over here. Now a lot of people, I'm pretty sure you guys have those cat balls. I think I've seen it on the video.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Throw that thing away. Just throw them all away, bro. Because I'm about to show you something it's gonna be a life changer one day, hopefully.
Hmm.
Uh, this little booger is the size of a baseball, and it comes with batteries. So it would never ever, unless you ain't got no batteries, it will always work. This is a dog ball. And the great thing about this dog ball, not only does it lights up, but it speaks.
Mm.
When it speaks, it does certain tunes that you guys probably never even heard of unless you're my age. It does the old Bugs Bunny. What's up, Doc? It does a lot of old stuff where people can actually understand. Now, I have not learned to change the audio on this thing, but it's
Mhm.
okay. You can drop it and it bounces. You can never lose it because it's too damn big to lose. You know what I'm saying? And it glows. It's red, but the lights glow white. So can you imagine a big old ball sitting right there on the table? You go touch it, and they're like, and it speaks,
Mm.
dude. It'll definitely mess the spirits up. The spirits like, what the hell is this? And some of these things on here bring back possibly it can bring back memories of when they were young. Because like I say, some of this is oh, Virgil, I thought you said you was gonna behave yourself. See, I just knew it. He couldn't do it. He could not do it. But yeah, man, devices like this, you really don't have people having. So when you think outside the box, when it comes to devices, little things like this that you can get. This thing cost me $8.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
also I think you don't really even need that. I brought up some ideas of literally going to a location, putting some devices around, obviously, but having someone have their phone on speaker, putting it down inside the building. You walk outside of the building and you can talk while you're not inside the property,
hmm
and kind of like a walkie-talkie type of situation, and ask questions that way and see what you get from that.
Oh, that'd be
So that way
interesting.
you're not in their personal space
Right.
and they might feel more comfortable because your presence isn't really around and you might get more information that way. And I think also that's different. That's
Yeah,
different.
it is different.
I don't see people doing that. So I think, I mean, that's one of the ideas that I have of doing something outside the box, you know?
I've never even thought about that one. That's a good idea right there.
So,
You don't mind if I borrow that, do you?
hey, it's a paranormal community, dude. I don't care, you know?
Oh
Anyone
yeah.
can use whatever, you know? It's not really about fighting against one another or like being like, how dare you use my stuff, you know? Like, we're all a community and we all should be brought together to bring as much evidence to the table as possible.
Yes.
All about
Yes. I
that forward
agree with
movement.
you.
Yeah.
That's the only way we're gonna survive.
Yeah.
Couple more questions, guys, and I'm gonna get you guys out of here. You know, the younger generation. We talked about them earlier. You know, where do you see those guys 20 years from now?
Mm.
I think with all that the community is doing, I think it's just going to get better. I feel like if the right people are leading the community, right, doing the things that you're supposed to be doing and doing it in a good way and finding ways to improve the community, I feel like it could get better and we'd end up with more information, just like with anything, you know, finding pieces of history. Like there's scientists still exploring the afterlife and still doing that. I feel like the longer that people keep doing it, the more information we're going to get, and the more the possibility of other things is how I think. I don't think
Interesting.
I don't like how these big influencers are doing things that are getting other people to do the same thing, that in a bad way for money and fame. You know, I don't like that idea of it, uh, and I don't want the community to be that way because I mean, just like you know, I want the community to become as one. But it's hard when you have people just doing it for entertainment, fame, and money. You know,
So yeah,
so
so how do we fight the Zach Baggins of the world? Because
uh, I
they're
well,
gravitating to him.
how I see it is what we've been doing is going to the same places because you know Utah. He's been to Utah quite a bit, right? And
Mhm.
uh, seeing how crazy these places are, which we've gone to pretty much almost all of them, and they haven't been as crazy. So, and
Mm.
uh, there's more of the negative side, which I'm not going to speak about because it's not my thing to do. But
Mhm.
let's just say, like, it's not really good in his hands, from what these other owners have said about him. But I just don't like that whole spectrum of that. I don't like people over exaggerating it for the entertainment and fame side. I want the nitty gritty evidence. And that's why, like in our videos, where you know, I don't expect us to be big. I don't expect us to be blown up like fame. You know, I don't
Mm.
expect that because we're not like that. We're not trying to uh, be over exaggerated and
Mhm.
being that crazy for entertainment. We're just doing our thing, having fun with it, coming up with new ways. We talk about it all the time. We're doing different things and trying to get information, evidence, and all that. Also, connecting with the community. Like I've have connections around Utah of the community, and we've been, you know, I've been. A lot of them are not really too helpful, like community wise, but I've been trying to help the community as many ways as I can, being involved, helping you know others out in the community. A lot of these they are not really, their communication's pretty bad, and I feel like that should be worked on. But we're we like to do we like to team up and tackle these places with each other. You know, we like to just tackle these places, try to get as much evidence, and have other people, new people that want to experiment and get into the paranormal and kind of teach them and get them to learn and see how it is, you know. So
Okay. Uh, Caden, how do you feel about the young generation?
Yeah. As we come, past the whole media explosion, with all the the social media and stuff, uh, back in like the 2010s, um, the biggest thing then was like it became like an internet sensation where people could just use it for fame. Um, and the biggest thing I'm seeing nowadays is it's not as much of a fame builder anymore. It isn't one of those click easy paths. So it's really funneling down all of these people who are trying to use it for fame and fortune, and are starting to bring out the people who actually want to bring light to more information and exploration and um, experimentation. So
Okay. I think they're a bunch of pain in the ass myself. I'm just being honest. They are a pain in the ass. They're making things difficult for those that want to teach and want to learn and want to educate. I think social media. Just think how this world would be with no social media.
yeah.
You
yeah,
know, I
I
think
remember the
those.
days where YouTube wasn't even a thing, and when we
Yeah.
were ghost hunting, and the experiences that we would have at the time, and it's one of those big pieces of memories that I have that still stick with me today. Of like even when I ghost hunt, because I'm like, man, why is everything so different? Back then, like we would get so much stuff and personal experiences and all of these crazy things, and now it's like every place that we go to, it's like not really too much is happening. So I really like missed those type of days before YouTube, before internet was like social media was such a big thing, you know.
mhm.
What city are you guys in?
He's in Orem, I'm in Provo, Utah.
Yeah.
Provo. Okay. Have you guys ever thought about uh, doing a little UFO research, a little ufology, or you guys just want to just stay with being paranormal investigators?
Mostly paranormal
Um,
investigators, but I mean we're open to anything. But the problem is where do we start with the other things, you know?
Well, I think with ufology, the first place you need to start is Dugway Proving Grounds.
yeah.
So
I mean, I've definitely done some personal research on a few things like that, just to understand more of like the community. I think the biggest push, especially for like our channel and kind of our message, would be more on the spiritual side of the things. But there is some cryptids that we've definitely talked about, like wanting to do videos on and things like that, like Skinwalker Ranch here in Utah, if that ever becomes available. We are hoping to do something with that. So
it's
So
more of
you
like it's not really that we don't want to get into it. It's more of like we have limited resources.
limited
yeah,
resources.
Yeah, it's not if we had access to places like you used to back in the day, then it would be a lot easier. But now everything's so limited, and there's you have to like a lot of places here. You might have to contact the city and try to get a hold of the city to even get
mhm,
access. And majority of the time, they're going to tell you no, sorry, we don't want our building to be what is it called like presented as something that's haunted or something like that, you know. Like
yeah,
there's
See,
a lot of restrictions, so we're very like even the community itself, like we're very limited. So a lot of people, like a lot of paranormal investigators, are having a hard time. They're searching to find new places to bring new people in and investigate and stuff like that. But it's hard when places are getting torn down every year. Uh, and also, places are getting abandoned, places are, and like there's new ownerships of these buildings or businesses, and they don't want anything to do with the paranormal
Right.
and
You
or
know,
anything.
yeah,
So it's like we're very limited on what we could do. So we just do what we can, you know?
yeah, I understand that. It's hard when you have the church controlling a lot that's going on up there. And and the historical society is probably tied into the church because that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not for sure how the Mormons think about what we do, but the Mormon Church, yeah, that's you guys are in a tight situation for
Yeah.
Oh
sure.
yeah, yeah.
What is that? I
You know
don't
what I'm
think it's
saying?
not like Florida. Florida has a lot of places that you can do. I mean, I've heard like they're booked out. A lot of these places are booked out, so you got to plan on it like advance. But Utah, it's not really like that.
So, how do you feel about pay to play?
I mean, what eventually, like how I see it, like I want to get to the point where I want to go out of state. I want to go
Mhm.
to different places, not just stick around in Utah, but go to the other places and like known places, like the Conjuring House, the Sally House, and stuff like that. Like I want to go to those places. It's more of just like getting the funding and we all. I mean, besides Caden here, uh, we all have kids. We all have a family, so it's hard to. And we have our daily jobs that we work,
Right.
all week, and trying to get the funding and the time to actually go out of state and to do these places. So it's so we're like sticking around Utah, but we want to do more of the exploring and going out and doing other states.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just like you, man. As big as Texas is, and it's not too many places that does the pay to play, but I'm still able to manage to get into some locations where I don't have to pay, and that's great.
Yeah,
You know,
that is
I
great.
yeah, that because I don't like to pay to play. I've done it twice, and I was disappointed each time. I'm like, I want my
Yeah, and
money.
there's a lot of places out here too that are expensive.
Mhm.
Just for like 4 hours, like it's like $500 for 4 hours.
Wow.
And there's some places that I've heard from others in the community, like there's these places that they're like $4,000, for a
Really?
night, and it's just like that's insane. It's that's too much, and to me, it's not worth it because it's like the paranormal's unexpected. So if you pay $2,000 to $4,000 for a place, and you get nothing throughout the whole night, it's like you just
Hmm.
wasted $4,000, $2,000 to $4,000 in a place for what?
I'll
Yeah.
be
For
I'll be
no
hot.
evidence.
Yeah, I go jump
So
off a bridge. I'll be hot.
yeah,
There's no way. I mean,
it's
uh,
insane. So that's another issue that we have is, you got places charging up the butt to get into, top of, owners not wanting their buildings to be represented as haunted and stuff like that. Like there's so many
Mhm.
things that contribute to it that kind of it makes Utah investigators have a harder time.
Yeah.
So,
how many teams do you think there are in your area that you know of?
not just in my area, but I know just in Utah in general, there's a lot.
There's a
But
lot.
there's a lot of small paranormal communities, like small
Mhm.
paranormal groups. There is, a good chunk that are pretty decent, with their following and their investigations. So there's quite a bit. I'm not gonna lie, it's quite a bit. But I don't know how any other state is either because I haven't gone out of state to really explore how the other communities are in other states and how much there is.
Well, I'll tell you
So
what. You more than welcome to come to Texas.
for
You
real.
know, and what's the name of that magazine? It's a magazine that says the most haunted states in the country. They had Texas number one. I don't know why, but I guess with all the history that it has, I mean, I thought Louisiana or Georgia would be number one and number two,
True.
or at least any southern state that was happening, any southern state should be above Texas, but that's not the case.
Yeah, it's not the case. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely where there's any standing wars or anything, like those should be pretty high on the list.
Yeah, I mean, hell, dude, there's so many people died in the Civil War, man, and the American Revolution, all those eastern states, man, not Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Ohio, South Carolina, North Carolina. You think those guys would be at least in the top 5, but they're not. You know what I'm saying? They are not. I was shocked. I'm like, is that right? But
not from what I've experienced, it's not that way.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, but the farther south you go, the more history you get. I think we've had more wars in Texas than any other state in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Mexican Revolution, the what was the Civil War, the war. There was another war.
There's quite a lot of battles.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of shit that went down. So it'd be interesting. Yeah, dude. If I had a buggy, if I can somehow, some way get on a cattle drive and follow the Trail of Tears, can you imagine the activity you get? I mean, hit stop for stop from where the natives were at that particular time. Man, that's unbelievable. I think that would be great. I'm pretty sure there is a trail ride that does that. They're not gonna pass up that money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, guys, man, it's been an hour and 37 minutes. Any last thing that you guys would like to say before I get you guys out of here? I know you guys got better things to do than mess with me all night.
Go check out the channel. I mean, if you want to see like real evidence and not over exaggerated stuff that you see on TV and other YouTubers that are influencers and stuff like that, and want to see actual evidence, then go to our channel. That's all I can really say, because we're not really trying to be that way, And we have a Facebook and TikTok and Twitter and also Instagram. We got all that too. So,
we're around.
Who does all your editing for you on your videos? I mean, your intros are cool as fuck.
I do majority of the videos are for me. I do the editing for like the intros and the outros and stuff like that. My brother has done a few videos on a separate channel that we have. We don't know what we're kind of doing at that channel quite yet, but there's a few episodes on there that he's done the editing for, which I think they're just as good. I consider them better than mine, but I guess that's just an opinion. But
dude, y'all's numbers are out freaking rages. I never ever get numbers like this. I mean, you guys are doing an amazing job, dude. 2.6K.
I try. I mean, I'm. That's what I'm saying. It's not easy. It's not easy. It takes a lot of.
You're putting in some work.
Yeah, I've put a lot of work into it. So
2.34K, 1.3K, 2.1K, 14K, dude. Come on, man. You guys are rocking and rolling.
Yeah, I mean, taking a big break really took a hit from us on our YouTube channel from our dad passing and stuff. Lost some subscribers from not uploading as often as I was. And,
So crazy. And what's so crazy about it, you guys don't have a video over 2 years old. So all three, I see three, but most of these videos are recent.
Mm. Some of them,
Yeah,
some of them are. I mean, they're months apart, but they're recent. I mean, we've
yeah,
been
they're
doing it for a
recent.
few years now, so I
Yeah.
got videos all the way up to, you know, was it 2022 maybe and up.
Yeah.
But got a lot of short videos on there, a lot of like the trailers that you can watch. We got the full videos you can watch. Also, like, you know, uh, there's more things I'm trying to add to it. But yeah, a lot of work, a lot of motivation. But ever since, our dad passing and stuff, I took some time, lost the motivation, lost the spark, and kind of fell off. And to me, getting back up where I need to be, getting that spark back, getting the one thing that I'm really passionate about, and
Well,
actually, I have people tell me all the time, "Dude, you talk about it so much. That's all you really like to talk about, and you're really passionate about it, dude. You just need to keep doing it." So I'm like,
here's the
"Yeah, you're
thing.
right. You're right."
Here's the thing. Take it for somebody who knows, because I went through that same situation. I shut it down for at least 6 months. I shut everything down. No
That's pretty much
podcast,
how long it
no
took me.
investigating,
Mhm.
no nothing. And it wasn't for a couple friends of mine because that told me, Terry, you need to get off your ass and get back out there. Your job is not finished yet. You need to get out there and see what's going on. Grieving is something that is never going to go away. You're going to grieve the rest of your life till you join your significant other.
Yep.
You know, and I see that. Because sometimes I'll just sit here in this chair, dude, and I'll just fucking just cry because I miss my wife so much. But
Yep.
I just know it's a grieving process. And whoever invented grieving, there's some dirty sons of bitches, because they get you in your most vulnerable state. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? It's Yeah, grieving is no joke, dude. I don't, everybody's gonna have to go through it eventually,
Yeah, and it's
but
everyone handles it differently, and everyone experiences it differently. So
yeah, but I'm gonna tell you, like like we talked before on the phone, dude. Just keep your head up, keep your chin up, both of you guys,
Mm.
and just keep doing what you guys do. Do what you love to do,
well, this is
because
what he loved to do too. This is what he loved to do too, and
yeah,
we all agreed. This is something that we need to do. This is something
yeah,
that we need to keep doing because this is something he loved. He's the one that taught us, got us into it. We enjoy it, and we got to keep it going. To have that spirit with us.
yes, and my hand still stands. If you guys ever want to have that talk, and you know what I'm talking about,
Yep.
uh, just let me know, and we can set that up for you guys. If you really want to do it, I mean, it's totally up to you. Whether you believe in it or not, I'll leave it up to you. But it's something that if you want that closure, then I'm here for you.
Yep.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? If you really want that closure, then I'm here. Um, it's I don't know. It helped me out. You know, but well, that cat is having a field day, whatever it's doing.
Yeah.
That trust me, dude. I understand it's hard,
Mhm.
but I do. And at some point, I did not see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I had to put myself in a certain situation. What would she do if the roles will reverse? What would she do? Would she continue, or would she sit up in the house and grieve and do just cry, cry, cry? Because at the end of the day,
Exactly.
you can only cry so many tears.
Oh yeah. I also don't think they want to see their loved ones, sit there and be upset and crying all the time for them being gone and not being there.
Yeah.
I think it
Well,
would kind of make them feel bad for not being there. And
Yeah.
but instead we should be being like, yeah, have the grieving process, do, cry your eyes out, whatever, but at the same time you got to hit that point of like, I shouldn't make that person feel bad for leaving this world and not taking me with them, and like leaving
Right.
us. uh we should just cherish that and make them feel like, the time, it was their time, and uh they're in a good spot. We shouldn't ruin their fun, you know
No, because they're not longer. I mean, they're out there having a good time.
yeah.
Now that they're chilling, their job is not done. Their job is to watch over us now.
Yep.
So we just got to keep doing the good fight, and just keep doing what we do. But
Oh,
anyway, guys, any closing remarks before I get you guys out of here?
no, everyone have a good night.
Kaden, what
Yeah.
about you?
Yeah.
Anything?
Yeah, no, just thanks for having us on, and
Oh,
appreciate the
my
time.
pleasure, dude. My pleasure. Hey, you guys might want to consider, man, starting a podcast. That'd be very interesting.
We've talked about it. We have
Yeah.
talked about it.
Because, dude, I'm telling you, with the numbers I see, you build it, they will come. Trust me.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
You
That
know what I'm
that just
saying?
comes with not just. It's not really. It's more of getting more people involved on our side. Joining. Kind of starting a little thing where, because where I'm the one handling a lot of the stress. I kind of want to split it up, have everyone have a job. So that way I'm
Well,
not
that's,
just having
yeah.
to feel like I have so much pressure on me, and I want to feel like I'm taking the fun from everyone else, because I know others want to do things and involve themselves in our community, our brand, whatever you want to call it, our name, and I
Mhm.
want them to do their thing too, and I don't want them to feel like I'm taking all all the fun, all the stuff, like, I just don't want that. So I want to start a podcast. There's a lot of things that I've been talking about that I want to do, but also we just need to communicate of who's going to run it, who's going to handle it, and stuff like that. So
Oh, get out of there. Sorry about that.
no, you're good. You're good.
What the damn video came back on. I was watching y'all's video again. All right, well, guys, man, it has been a pleasure speaking with you again.
Yeah.
Man, I wish you nothing but success on your journey. Keep your heads up, dude. Keep it up.
You do the
The
same.
more content you put out like this makes it better, not just for you, but for the community as a whole.
Mhm.
So please keep doing what you guys are doing, man. You it's an honor to have you guys on the show. I'm being serious about that. I respect what you guys do, and you guys do it right. And you do it, and you just let it be.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the way it should be, and that's the way it should be. No ifs and buts about it. Screw what
Exactly.
the world says, man. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. If you want to be subjective to it, that's fine. I mean, however you want to do it.
Yep.
But the only thing is, don't disrespect me.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
it. Don't not disrespect. You can have your little compliment, your comments or whatever, but let's not take it no farther than that, because it don't need to go no farther than that.
Exactly.
Mm.
But anyway, hey guys, enjoy the rest of your evening. I really appreciate it. You guys coming on the show.
Yeah.
Uh, tell everybody up in Utah. I still hate them Utes. I hate them damn Utes. And I hate, well, BYU is not too bad, but yeah, it's a lot
Mm.
of weird stuff going on
Yeah.
there. A lot of weird stuff. But hey, guys, you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and you'll hear from me soon. And like I say, anytime you guys are just want to talk, please, you have my number. Please give me a call and we just talk.
All righty, man. Thank you.
And so, hey,
Appreciate
you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. This is Terry with NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast, Sunday evening edition, guys, with unknown investigators. Please go check out their YouTube channel. Dude, they got some amazing stuff. Please go check them out, man. Hit that subscribe button and hit that follow button no matter where you at. And hey, their numbers are already up. I'm kind of jealous on this, you know what I'm saying? But hey, check them out, dude. Show their support. You give them all the love that they need in their time of need. And I hear from you guys soon. Peace. Bye, guys.
I gave to realize the words and what is the grace, but I cannot get it. I want to save everybody in the world. Now I know it's time to break. Hey. Now we break it down. Now I know it's time to break. Time to break. Now I know it's time to break. I never fold under pressure till I die, man. Hurt main, bold measure, never lying. New cat in the jungle, putting her hurt and need a muzzle. New raps and a hustle, leave them clueless like a puzzle. Time to break, as the record set, I'm back. I'm never late, shining, never let no track defeat the odds. As long as I am standing, it's brawl of the gods when you know my punch is landing. This time I'm laying loose, having fun, like the carnival. Man, I let you choose, want this beef, I'm a carnivore. In the streets, I was on a stroll, I was working, cooking up every day like a stove. Heaters like a stovetop, hot to the touch. Can't handle what I brought, having rappers for my lunch. Hanging in a parking lot of another